you.
That brings us to item E, open enrollment openings in regular and special education for the 2013-2014 school year.
So Act 114 that was passed last year, January of every year, the school board has to determine the number of openings that are available for open enrollment. Last year, we were able to do this in March, so because the high school had already registered kids, we had a better sense of who was in what classes and how many spaces we had open. This year, registration hasn't occurred, and in the future it won't, since we have to give you those numbers in January. What we do is take the current class, like our 4K kids are going to be are going to be kindergartners next year, so we take that number, we look at the number of sections that are available, the class size that we deem appropriate, and then do the math and come up with openings. So you have a number of documents embedded. You can see how we computed the elementary, middle school, and high school numbers. And then I just created a general summary sheet for you of openings. So when you look at our numbers here, you can see that our kindergarten numbers are high. That's a big class, so there's only 3 openings that will be available there. Our first graders, that's a big class as well. There's only going to be 8 spots available. And then as you move to the middle school, you'll see the numbers are higher. We're looking at 30 kids in a class. That's not how many we typically have, but we've set that as the maximum number of seats that potentially could be available. So when you have 30 in a class, that opens up a number of different spots. And you'll notice as the high school, as those grades, our senior class, actually our current junior class is a large class, so next year as seniors there are less spots, and we have to take the smallest group. So when you look at math, English, social studies, each area, you pick the opening that is the smallest, and that's the number that you have available. So I don't know if you have any questions. This, again, is our estimates. And then our special ed numbers, as we have shared in the past, our caseloads are full. Our teachers are working with the maximum number of students that they can work with, and we really don't have openings to bring in open enrolled students for special ed.
So the numbers at the middle school jumped out at me. I was surprised to see that there would be so many openings there. I guess when you look at the breakdown, I understand those numbers. Do we set, the school district gets to set the class size, and we've just determined that 30, even though that's generally considered somewhat high or higher than what we would like, that's what we need to set as the maximum?
I think to have less than that as a number sets up the expectation that you should never have 30 in a class. And you can run some middle school classes with that number. I know Miss Murray, when she was teaching an advanced math class with highly motivated students, had no issue in taking 32, 33 students. And we appreciated her doing that. But I think and that was the number that we used at the high school as well, 30 students in a classroom. Obviously, at our elementary level, our primary level in particular, we look at smaller numbers for them.
And so are you looking for approval of this?
Yes, we do have to approve the numbers so that it's required by law.
I'd look for a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the open enrollment openings in regular and special education for the 2013-2014 school year as presented. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries, and so those enrollment openings as presented are approved.